Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got another pretty interesting show for you guys that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as y'all know, the playoffs are still ongoing. We're going to be getting game 2 today of the Clippers versus the Phoenix Suns, a game that I'm really looking forward to, even though it's a very late game. I watched game 1 and I was at the edge of my seat the entire game. Now, going into this series, a good amount of people picked against the Clippers, and to be fair, a lot of people are still picking against the Clippers to lose this series. And one of those people was, of course, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith had a pessimistic outlook on the Clippers, and basically he said that they don't stand a chance to even consider beating the Phoenix Suns without a healthy Paul George. So what we want to do is we actually want to play a quick snippet of what he had to say in terms of previewing this series without Paul George. So take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say there, and then we'll come back and react to his comments.
I'd be a bit more intrigued by the Clippers if Paul George is 100%.
Correct.
But with that, him being he ain't going to be 100% when he gets back.
No.
And to go against Kevin Durant and Devin Booker,
that's gonna be
and
fun.
you're less than 100% in advance, my condolences.
So that's what he said before the series started. He said they don't have a snowball chance in hell, or what is it? My condolences, meaning that it's a wrap, right? They're going to lose, and it's not even going to be funny. So that's what he said going into that game. But then what happened? Clippers went into game 1. Kawhi Leonard was excellent. Russell Westbrook was probably the most valuable player that game in terms of everything that he did on the court. And the Clippers were able to go out there and really wrestle away a win from Phoenix and steal game 1 on the road. So, of course, the very next day they were going to go on ESPN First Take, and we're going to talk about it. And yesterday, Kendrick Perkins was on the show because he was the one that said that he believes that Clippers could ultimately win this particular series. And he pressed Stephen A. Smith to basically explain what happened after he gave that prediction. But before we get into that, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Stephen A. Smith had to say as he modified his position. And then we're going to come back and really get into this topic here. Take a listen to what he had to say there.
I'm not going to run from what Big Perk tried to throw at me, because I said, ain't no way that the Suns are losing to the Clippers without Paul George. I have to modify that. There's no way they should, but obviously they could. I have to concede that. And Big Perk deserves a lot of credit. I know we debate and all of that other stuff, but damn it, the truth is the truth. You brought up Ty Lue, no doubt. I brought up Westbrook, but for different reasons. We all knew what Kawhi was capable of. Here's what I thought would happen. What I thought would happen was KD gonna be like, yeah, I'm healthy now. This ain't the finals when I tore my Achilles, bro, and you won that championship in Toronto because LeBron had left the Eastern Conference and stuff like that. You're lucky to get out of there. You know, even though DeMar DeRozan, I believe, would have pulled off the same thing Kawhi Leonard did if LeBron wasn't in the Eastern Conference that year. But that's neither here nor there.
So you heard his comments. Now he's saying that the Suns shouldn't lose, right? And of course, later on, he went in to say they better not lose and all of this and blah, 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 blah. And funny enough, when I saw him say that, I actually posted a comment on our channel where I said, Stephen A. Smith sometimes analyzes basketball like a teenager at Rucker Park. Dude acts like basketball is NBA 2K for whatever reason. When he said, KD has to take the ball and say, give it to me. To me, it shows me that Stephen A. Smith is not really paying attention to this series. It seems like he's just looking at the names on the back of the jerseys. And in this case, he's just looking at the star players and marquee names and is not really taking the time to really analyze this series properly. If you take the time to think this thing through, you would see that the Clippers have a pretty good chance of winning this series. A pretty good chance. Why? Because of the reasons that I highlighted to begin the series. Number one, I believe the Clippers have the better coach. And in the playoffs, coaching is extremely important because the coaches are the ones running plays, making adjustments, making substitutions, etc., etc., etc. So the coach has to be very competent and he has to be able to do a range of things in between games or during games as well. So I thought the coaching edge went to the Clippers and Tyronn Lue. The second thing I felt like the Clippers had in their favor was their depth. And this was something that a lot of these guys, for whatever reason, were either not, abreast with. They didn't know this information or they just flat out ignored it. The Clippers have a lot of guys that can score 20 points on any given night. You have Norman Powell, you have Eric Gordon, you have Terrence Mann who can get hot. He's a two-way player. He can give you 20 points. You have Nicholas Batum. If he gets hot from the three-point line, he can give you 20 points. Of course, you have Kawhi Leonard. You have Russell Westbrook. If he's playing well, he can get you 20. He can get you a 24-point triple-double. So the Clippers had enough offense, and I think that they had enough depth to play. Number two, I think the Clippers also have a lot of great defenders and two-way players on their roster, and it could give Kevin Durant a plethora of looks, and it's exactly what you saw in that series. So I was surprised where he just said that it was just a foregone conclusion, and he was basically boiling the series down to Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and just Kawhi Leonard and an iffy Russell Westbrook. When in all actuality, basketball is not played that way. Basketball, at least professional basketball, you're playing off of systems. And that's what the Clippers were using, and that's what the Phoenix Suns were using. And sometimes matchups play a role, right? So when he said it like that, it made it seem like as if, like, bro, are we talking about NBA 2K? Or are we talking about actual professional basketball here? If you look at the way Kevin Durant was playing, KD wasn't forcing the issue. It's not Kevin Durant's nature to force the issue. Kevin Durant likes to play within a flow. He doesn't break the flow of the offense the way like a Kobe Bryant would do or the way a Michael Jordan would do. You've heard Phil Jackson say Kobe Bryant just totally screwed up the triangle offense. What does he mean by that? He means that he would just start playing hero ball and say to hell with the triangle. That's not Kevin Durant's personality. He seldom plays like that. Is he capable of doing that? Absolutely. But he seldom does that. KD likes to play within a system that is organized. So he's just not going to go up there and start jacking up shots. That's not his nature. To do that. And that's something he said. He said teams are not going to allow me on the JJ Redick podcast. It's like, why doesn't Kevin Durant have so many? Because his teams are not going to allow him to get that many shots. So they were also denying Kevin Durant the ball. It wasn't like as if KD was just passively not shooting. Right? So KD likes to play within a system. And it's one of the reasons why he went to go play with the Golden State Warriors. And quite frankly, why he flourished with the Golden State Warriors. So when he said that, I was just like, man, what are we talking about here? Basketball is more complicated than that, especially in the playoffs. So these are my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the analysis I put forward? What do you think about some of the things that Stephen A. Smith had to say? And ultimately, how do you think this series continues to play out? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show.